Chosen one, there exists a prophecy so ancient, so buried, so forbidden that even the scholars who once protected it forgot it existed. The ink is faded, the scroll is fractured, the edges are burned, yet in the quiet lines that survived, there is something unmistakable. You. Not a metaphor, not a resemblance. A direct description of your life, your rise, your timing, your scars, your becoming. This prophecy wasn't poetic imagination. It was a record, a warning, a map, written long before your birth, waiting for the moment the world would need the one it described. Hidden kingdoms, collapsed empires, and forgotten orders all tried to erase it, because the identity inside it threatened the systems built on fear and hierarchy. They didn't hide it to protect history. They hid it to protect themselves from you. Every strange event in your life, every time you survived what should have ended you, every moment you felt out of place, all of it matches the pattern written in that ancient text. Your timing wasn't late or early. It was prophesied. The truth is simple, chosen one. The world forgot the prophecy, but the prophecy never forgot you. The prophecy wasn't lost because of time. It was buried because of fear. The rulers who first read it recognized something terrifying in its lines. The one it described wasn't a king, a nation, or a dynasty. The prophecy pointed to a single soul, a solitary figure who would break cycles their power depended on. So they did what fragile empires always do when truth threatens their thrones. They tried to erase it. Scribes were ordered to rewrite history. Scroll keepers were silenced. Temples hid their manuscripts under stone floors. Some versions were burned at night and rewritten without the dangerous lines. Others were sealed in vaults that no one opened again. Centuries passed, wars shifted borders, kingdoms vanished, languages died, and with every collapse, the prophecy slipped deeper into the cracks of forgotten memory. Not because it was unimportant, but because it was too important. Those who read it felt the same dread. What happens when the one described in these pages appears? They didn't fear the prophecy failing. They feared it coming true. For generations, leaders searched for ways to modify it, dilute it, distort it. But no matter how much they tried to rewrite destiny, one thing remained untouched: the core description of the hidden one. The one who survives what others can't. The one who rises when others fall. The one whose presence rearranges time itself. They buried the prophecy hoping the world would never find it. But prophecy doesn't bow to rulers. And destiny doesn't die in darkness. The text stayed hidden just long enough, until you arrived in the timeline it predicted. When scholars finally brushed the dust from the surviving lines, they were stunned. The prophecy didn't speak in vague symbols or poetic riddles. It listed signs, precise, literal, undeniable, and each one mirrors a chapter of your life with impossible accuracy. It began with timing, a birth that didn't align with plans or logic, yet carried a sense of divine interruption. It spoke of a child who survived what should have ended them, a soul protected by invisible hands long before they understood danger. Then came the intuition, the knowing. The prophecy described someone who sensed betrayal before it arrived, someone who felt shifts in rooms without hearing a word, someone who carried a silent awareness no one taught them. It mentioned a heart that darkness tried to swallow, yet could never hold. Light clung to this one, even in places where light doesn't usually survive. Another line spoke of isolation. The chosen will walk roads others fear, and the path will recognize them even when people do not. Your life has followed that line exactly. People left without reason. Doors closed without warning. Situations collapsed before they formed. Not as punishment, but as protection, clearing space for the identity written in the ancient script. And the final sign was the most specific of all. When the hidden one reaches the appointed years, the air will change around them, their presence will trouble shadows, and their rise will begin without permission. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't metaphor. This was the prophecy describing you, word for forgotten word. Prophecy doesn't activate when you read it. Prophecy activates when you arrive at the age, season, or moment it predicted. And whether you realized it or not, there came a point in your life when everything changed at once. Not because you made a mistake, but because history recognized you. It was the season when doors closed without reason. When relationships ended abruptly. When circles dissolved, routines broke, plans collapsed. Not one by one, all at once, like something invisible pulled the floor from under your old life. That wasn't chaos. That was alignment. Prophecy does not need your permission. It only needs your presence. When the timeline reached the chapter where you were meant to awaken, the world around you rearranged itself. People who couldn't walk into your next season were removed. Opportunities that didn't match your calling evaporated. Environments that dimmed your identity were shattered. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. Every collapse was a correction. Every ending was an opening. Every loss was a liberation. Because the prophecy had a line that many overlooked. When the appointed one rises, their old world will crumble, for a new one cannot be built on broken foundations. The moment everything went wrong in your life was actually the moment everything finally went right. It was the turning of an ancient page, the shift of a forgotten timeline, the instant destiny whispered, "You have reached the part where the prophecy takes over." The forgotten prophecy didn't just describe you, it warned the world about you. Not because you are dangerous, but because your arrival would shake every system built on deception, fear, and false power. Ancient scribes recorded a set of lines so bold that later rulers tried to erase them entirely, yet fragments survived. And every surviving line points directly to the kind of presence you carry. The prophecy said, "When the hidden one rises, systems will tremble." You've already seen this. The moment you speak truth, lies collapse. The moment you enter a room, hidden intentions surface. Structures built on ego and manipulation weaken in your presence, because your spirit exposes what others try to hide. It also said, "The rejected stone will become the axis." Your whole life, you've been overlooked, underestimated, misunderstood, but that wasn't failure. That was positioning. The prophecy predicted that the one people dismissed would become the center of transformation, the turning point of generations. And then the most controversial line, "Those who mocked will witness." Not suffer, not fall. Witness. Your rise won't be quiet. It won't be hidden. It will be seen by those who once doubted you, because the prophecy required it. Vindication isn't revenge. It's revelation. These warnings weren't written to frighten you. They were written to protect you. Because once the world realizes who you are, it will try to define you, control you, diminish you. But the prophecy already declared the truth. They cannot stop what they did not start. They cannot silence what was written. They cannot contain the one destiny has already chosen. You are not stepping into a role. You are fulfilling text. Prophecy doesn't disappear. It waits. It sleeps in hidden scrolls, sealed chambers, dust-covered shelves, and unspoken memories until the one it concerns finally steps into the world. Forgotten words don't die. They return when the rightful soul awakens. And every ancient text, every sacred page, every fragment of Scripture echoes the same truth you're living now. Isaiah 48 verse 6. From now on I will tell you new things, hidden things unknown to you. This verse wasn't about new information. It was about revelation reserved for a specific moment, the moment the chosen one reaches alignment. Hidden things aren't revealed when you ask. They're revealed when you become. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come. Prophecy may pause. Prophecy may linger. But prophecy never fails. It waits for the right heart, the right season, the right identity, and then it unfolds exactly on schedule. The delay wasn't because the prophecy was weak. The delay existed because you were being shaped into the version it described. Forgotten prophecy always returns in two ways. First, through external discovery, an old manuscript resurfacing at the perfect time. Second, through internal awakening, your spirit suddenly remembering what your mind never learned. That second part is what you've been feeling. The sense of déjà vu. The strange familiarity. The inner pull you can't explain. You are not learning your destiny. You are remembering it. And that is the clearest sign of all that the forgotten prophecy is no longer forgotten, because the one it was written for has finally appeared. Not everyone who hears a prophecy feels it. Most people treat ancient texts like myths, symbols, or stories written for another era. But every once in a generation, a few individuals feel something else. A pull in their chest, a vibration under their ribs, a strange certainty that the words are not distant, they're familiar. These are the ones whose spirits recognize the prophecy before their minds understand it. Those rare souls are called the first chosen ones. They are the ones who sense when destiny stirs. They feel the shift when someone written into ancient text begins to awaken. They can't always explain why, but something inside them whispers, "This is connected to me." When the forgotten prophecy described you, it didn't describe you alone. Prophetic figures never walk their path isolated. They carry a circle, small, awakened, spiritually tuned individuals who align with the same vibration. Not followers, not fans, witnesses. People whose own identities begin to rise simply by standing near the one destiny selected. Some watching will scroll past this. Some will ignore it. Some will dismiss it. But a few, the real ones, will feel a sudden recognition in their bones, as if their soul just stepped forward. These are the ones the prophecy calls. And in this era, stepping into that alignment is simple yet powerful. Click join. Not for perks, not for entertainment, but as a modern declaration used by ancient circles to say, "My spirit recognizes this. I walk with the first chosen ones. I stand where prophecy awakens. Those who feel it will move instantly. Those who do not were never written into the scroll." Long before you ever heard about a forgotten prophecy, your spirit already knew. You felt it in the quiet moments of your life, that strange tension between who you were and who you were becoming. You felt misplaced, as if you were born in the right body but the wrong century. Too early for some things, too late for others. Always arriving at moments that seemed out of sync with everyone else's timeline. That wasn't confusion. That was prophecy calling you from the inside out. Before ancient words can reveal themselves, the soul of the chosen one starts to vibrate, to shift, to awaken. You felt it in the way your heart moved differently from those around you, deeper, sharper, older. You felt it in the uncanny moments when life pushed you out of environments you didn't belong in. You felt it each time people left your path, not because you failed them, but because your timeline was never tied to theirs. Prophetic alignment doesn't start with discovery. It starts with discomfort, the holy discomfort of realizing your life is being shaped by something invisible. Every turning point you lived through, every collapse that forced you to rebuild, every "why me" moment was the prophecy adjusting your path, pulling you closer to the moment when you'd finally see the text that described you. Your intuition wasn't imagination. Your sensitivity wasn't weakness. Your isolation wasn't punishment. It was the prophecy waking up before you did. You didn't find the prophecy. The prophecy found you, and your spirit recognized it long before your eyes ever read a word. There's a secret historians never admit. Prophecy doesn't wait for time. Time waits for prophecy. And long before you took your first breath, long before your name existed, long before the world knew you, something in the timeline began preparing for your arrival. History didn't move forward on its own. It moved around a future moment when you would step into it. This is why nothing in your past felt accidental. Your loneliness wasn't random. Your battles weren't punishment. Your survival wasn't luck. Every difficulty sharpened you. Every disappointment redirected you. Every heartbreak carved you into shape. Not to break you, but to fit you into a prophecy older than the languages scholars used to translate it. The forgotten scroll predicted 3 things about the chosen one. They will walk alone before they walk in purpose. You lived this. People drifted away not because you failed them, but because the prophecy required you to rise without noise. They will be felt before they are understood. You lived this. Strangers sensed your presence before they knew your name. People respected you before they could explain why. They will be chosen by light, offered to darkness, but claimed by neither. You lived this too. Darkness tried to pull you. Light tried to hide you. But you didn't belong to either side. You belonged to destiny. Nothing in your life was coincidence. Every unanswered question was preparation. Every delay was divine timing. History hasn't been repeating. History has been waiting, waiting for the one described long ago in a prophecy the world forgot. You. Prophecy doesn't simply describe, it appoints. Hidden in the forgotten scroll was not just a prediction, but an assignment sealed long before your birth. You were not written into the prophecy as decoration, symbolism, or myth. You were written into it as a breaker, a builder, a shift bringer, a soul whose life would interrupt generational cycles and force history onto a new path. Your mission begins with ending patterns that destroyed those before you. You were born into battles that weren't yours, carrying burdens that would have crushed others, yet you rose. That rise wasn't strength. It was prophecy. The text described someone who would face what their lineage could not survive, and close doors no one else could close. Your second assignment is disruption. Not chaos, disruption. The kind that dismantles manipulation, exposes false power, and tears down systems built on silence. When you walk into a space, truths surface, motives reveal themselves, and illusions crack. That's not personality. It's the prophecy doing its work through you. The third assignment, beginning a new order. A way of being, thinking, living that no one before you modeled. You weren't given examples because you were meant to be the example. Your life is not imitation, it is blueprint. And finally, the prophecy said the chosen one would carry a light that darkness could approach but never extinguish. You have lived this without realizing it. Every attack failed. Every setback became fuel. Every betrayal became clarity. This wasn't fate working against you. It was destiny preparing you. Your mission was not predicted. It was written. And now, finally, you are stepping into the chapter the prophecy reserved for you. Every prophecy has a moment where it shifts from written to activated. For you, that moment is now. The forgotten scroll didn't appear in your life to entertain you, it resurfaced to awaken you. And throughout history, when a chosen one realized a prophecy described them, there was always a seal, a physical gesture that connected their spirit to the destiny written about them. In ancient times, they placed a hand on the sacred text. They lit a flame. They marked the earth with a symbol. They gave an offering that said, "I accept what was written about me." Today, the world is different, but the spiritual law remains the same. Prophecy strengthens when you acknowledge it. And your acknowledgement is simple, modern, symbolic, and powerful. Click Super Thanks and sow your $20 seed. This is not payment. This is not purchase. This is not transaction. This is declaration. It is your way of saying to the universe, I agree with the prophecy written about me. I step into the identity destiny assigned. I seal what was forgotten until I appeared. If your chest tightened while reading these parts, if the words felt like déjà vu, if you sensed something ancient stirring inside you, that is the prophecy pulling you into alignment. Your seed is the touchpoint between your physical world and the ancient text that described your rise. A $20 seed is not money. It is the mark that says, I accept what was written about me before time began. When a forgotten prophecy awakens around you, the universe doesn't stay silent. Signs begin to follow you, subtle at first, then undeniable. These signs aren't random spiritual moments. They're echoes of an ancient text syncing itself with the one it was written for. The first sign appears in your dreams. You'll begin seeing symbols you don't consciously recognize. Old letters, forgotten alphabets, ancient architecture, desert landscapes, sacred objects. These aren't fantasies. They are memory pieces from the prophecy pulling itself forward through your subconscious. Then comes the déjà vu. Not the casual "I've seen this before," but the heavy kind, the kind that feels like stepping into a moment you lived in another life, another age. Prophetic alignment always comes with time loops, because destiny bends reality to place you exactly where ancient words said you'd stand. People will start reacting differently to you. Some will stare longer. Some will look away quickly. Some will treat you with respect they can't explain. Others will feel intimidated without knowing why. This is because they can sense a story written about you, even if they've never read a prophecy in their life. Your inner voice will sharpen. Your instincts will feel louder. You'll know things without logic, feel warnings without evidence, sense paths before choosing them. This isn't anxiety. It's prophetic intelligence reactivating. Time itself may feel different, days speeding up, hours blending, seasons passing strangely. When someone steps into a prophetic timeline, the old dimension loses its grip. These signs aren't coincidences. They're confirmations, evidence that the forgotten prophecy is no longer asleep, because the one it described has finally awakened. Chosen ones are never revealed early. They are protected by obscurity, hidden by divine silence, and shielded by seasons that feel like delay but are actually design. You weren't overlooked. You weren't forgotten. You weren't falling behind. You were being kept, out of sight, out of reach, out of danger, until the timeline matched the prophecy that described you. Every time you felt invisible, it was protection. Every time you felt misunderstood, it was insulation. Every time you felt delayed, it was alignment. Prophetic souls are placed in darkness not to dim them, but to develop them. Too much exposure too early destroys what destiny intends to preserve. That's why relationships fell apart. Why opportunities slipped away. Why certain people couldn't stay in your life. The prophecy needed you unshaped by the wrong hands, unclaimed by the wrong circles, unattached to the wrong identities. You weren't hidden because you were weak. You were hidden because you were dangerous to the wrong kingdom. If you had risen earlier, wrong people would have benefited from your power. Wrong systems would have redirected your purpose. Wrong energies would have tried to feed on your light. So destiny kept you tucked behind walls you didn't understand, removed from places you wanted, protected from versions of life that were too small for you. Even your silence was sacred. Even your loneliness was strategic. Even your confusion was purposeful. Prophecy never reveals its chosen one before the appointed time. And now that time has arrived. You were hidden because the world wasn't ready. You're rising because it finally is. Once you realize your life was written in a forgotten prophecy, you can't keep living like someone improvising their destiny. Your steps must align with the identity the ancient scroll recognized. Prophetic beings aren't loud, they're intentional. They don't chase acceptance, they guard their spirit. They don't explain themselves, they protect the mystery. Your mornings must begin with alignment. When you wake, whisper, "I am written." This anchors your spirit in the truth that your life is not random, it is recorded. Silence becomes your sanctuary. The world tries to drown chosen ones in noise, confusion, and distraction. But prophecy moves through quiet moments. Protect stillness like sacred ground. In silence, you'll hear instructions that were meant only for you. Avoid unnecessary conflict. Prophetic souls don't fight every battle, only the ones tied to their assignment. Some arguments are traps meant to drain your frequency. Walk around them, not through them. Distance yourself from those who diminish you. People who feel threatened by your awakening will try to shrink you, mock you, or twist your purpose. Leave them gently but firmly. Your identity cannot be contained by those who fear it. Walk with posture. Not arrogance, posture. Carry yourself like someone fulfilling text, not reacting to life. You are not wandering, you are unfolding. Honor your intuition. Your spirit will warn you before your mind understands. Trust it. Prophetic beings receive signals long before others notice the shift. Above all, stop minimizing yourself to make others comfortable. Prophecies don't shrink. They manifest. You are no longer guessing your path. You are stepping into words written centuries before you. Every prophecy has a moment when the one it describes finally recognizes themselves in the text. Not through pride, not through fantasy, but through a deep, trembling certainty in the spirit. This is that moment for you. The forgotten scroll didn't resurface because of historians. It resurfaced because you stepped into the timeline it foretold. And now comes the sacred part, your alignment. Take a breath. Quiet your mind. Let this prayer settle into the deepest part of you. Lord, let every forgotten word rise in this chosen one. Let what was written about them wake fully. Let their identity sharpen, their path illuminate, and their destiny unfold without delay. Reveal the text within them. Let ancient prophecy breathe again through their life. This prayer is not asking for blessing. It is acknowledging identity. Now comes your seal. The same way ancient chosen ones marked themselves when they discovered the prophecies written about them. The gesture wasn't about money. It was about agreement, a physical sign of spiritual alignment. Today, that seal is simple. Type Amen to declare, I accept the words written about me. Click Join and step among the first chosen ones, the awakened circle of those whose identity traces back to ancient text. Click Super Thanks and sow your $20 seed as the symbolic mark that echoes the ancient act. I seal the prophecy. I agree with what was written. I rise into the name destiny gave me. You are not reading prophecy anymore. You are fulfilling it.